honest, it may have been that this person was about to marry this person, and maybe not even marry, but I'm hearing that she would have, this ex-partner, right, would have been forcing commitment, marriage, engagement, living together, something like that. And because he was, young, vulnerable, in love, he didn't see the red flags, and this relationship went from 0 to 100. What do I always say to you guys? No healthy relationship goes from 0 to 100. No. Even when you have very divine people that immediately you know that you love this person. But it's about patience. It's about surrendering. It's about taking your time. It's about allowing the universe to speak to you about this connection as well. But especially when people are wounded, are immature, if it goes from 0 to 100, it's very dangerous. And I'm hearing that this person, it was a divinely orchestrated, that it didn't happen. It's like the universe saved him. But I feel so maybe he left. Maybe this actually activated that first avoidance. Maybe he got cold feet. He got scared. He left because there's a bit of a blame. So maybe he was even blamed by other people, but the families, I'm hearing. But he didn't learn the lesson properly. What he learned from this is just that, no, that I don't want to do it fast. He would be very scared of women. Yeah, we have Ace of Cups in reverse and Eight of Cups. And that's on top of that codependency. I don't think he realizes, but the issue here was self-love. His lack of his self-love. Because whoever allows others to manipulate themselves is because they don't have strong boundaries. And boundaries are a natural byproduct of self-love. Of truly believing that I am worthy of wanting certain things and not wanting other things. I feel like it's something that he would think about this. I saved myself. But because he hasn't processed and healed properly, he will be in this mindset, how the hell do I never put myself in this crazy situation again, right? All right, you guys, let's do the last part, which is, what are his intentions? What are his intentions and next actions? I kind of want to start from doing my oracles to see where is his overall energy when it comes to the health of his spirit, and then we're gonna do tarot. Where is this masculine? Four cards. All right. Okay, we have number 3, what you're made of. What you're made of. I want to read through this to be honest. I always love you guys that these are my oracles, but there's certain cards that I just need to remember. Let's read through this. From early childhood, whenever we are faced with pain, traumas, disappointments, or fears, our ego starts to build subconscious mechanism of behaviors to help us to avoid further harm. I know already, remember. This seems like a wise and logical defense, but in reality, it disconnects us from our soul. We no longer approach life from a place of love and purpose, but we start acting from a place of fear and avoidance. This is it, which ultimately takes away our freedom. Examine your armor carefully, identify your wounds, and ask yourself, what parts of my life are built on fear? That's exactly what we were talking about. He's not acting right now from a place of love. So he thinks of you, what he wants to do, but he's so terrified of his past experiences that he hasn't closed properly because he doesn't yet have the maturity. He doesn't understand the patterns. He doesn't understand how much his childhood and this previous relationship developed the automated patterns that he works on. He just thinks he's protecting himself. He doesn't understand he didn't just learn the lesson properly. He doesn't see his own fault in that situation, right? In a sense of, it's not just the cruelty of love and the fact that commitment shackles you, or women shackle you and cage you. No, it's just you didn't have the maturity and the heart that was healed enough to choose the right person for yourself, because you didn't see the right flags with this ex-partner, right? We have you affect them too, number 54. What I was hearing with this one is that I don't think he's now at this point, he wouldn't realize that in connections we affect other. You know how I always say to you guys that when we are wounded, it says this, when we live in a house of shadows, we can sometimes become so overwhelmed with our own misery that we forget that we affect others too. And it's exactly that. In the connection with you, he wouldn't right now be thinking to himself, oh, maybe she wants this connection, she's so impatient because maybe she's insecure, maybe she really fell in love with me, maybe she really feels this connection. So he doesn't have the maturity to talk about this. So he thinks that you're pressuring him, you're having this impatience, you're forcing thing, right? I keep looking at this forcer card that we have for you. And if he's thinking of himself, he's not thinking how his avoidance, his hot and cold behavior, remember that the silent treatment, how is it going to affect you? He doesn't care because he thinks that he needs to protect himself right now because he is in a survival mode. He hasn't healed his past traumas. So he wouldn't care how it's going to affect you right now. As sad as it is to hear, he would be like, I just don't want to put myself in the same situation. Something pulls him into you, but there's this fear of unprocessed traumas. And seek your truth in silence. I really feel this person. You know how some people, we talked about this in previous parts, watch the previous parts. My readings are whole. You cannot just claim or resonate with one part. It all has to resonate, right? Number 75, seek your truth in silence. What you are seeing and observing as hot and cold treatment, right? As, remember what we said, silent treatment as well. I think that this person, because they're avoidant, whenever they're overwhelmed, whenever they don't know what to do, and there's a lot of confusion in their mind and in their heart, they need silence to think, to figure it out. And because you're pressuring, because you're impatient, they can feel it in your energy, and especially in these connections. So you could maybe say, but I'm not asking for anything. Like, he can feel it in your energy. Just like with us, I always say to you guys, it's a difficulty of these connections because our masculines, their actions don't show that they care. Their words sometimes don't show that they care, but we can feel it in their energy, that they love us, that they crave us, that they want it. Because energy doesn't lie. Energy doesn't lie. People just don't know how to read that energy. Just like if you ever had a session, one-on-one session with me, you know that we always start from your energy. Because when I open a channel, I start hearing things and your guides tell me about your energy. And I always have that written down. And I say to you guys, it's your shadows, it's your light. And it always resonates. Why? Because energy doesn't lie. Sometimes you may not realize what energy you're at, but you want it right now. You long for him. There's impatience energy, and he can feel that. So he sometimes runs away to seek answers. He doesn't want to make the same mistakes, but you're not allowing the silence. And granted, he's not mature enough to say to you, I need time, I need silence, I need space, right? So he's doing something that, in my opinion, is mentally very abusive. This hot and cold, this silent treatment, the ghosting, it creates incredible trauma within others. It's a wounded behavior that it's never okay. But when someone is themselves overwhelmed, it's this, you affect them too. He doesn't understand that because he is so overwhelmed that right now all he can just try to figure out is himself. To realize that we affect others, to realize what effect we have on others, our words, our actions, we really have to be in a place of center. And most people aren't. And we have dark night of the soul. I don't think he's there yet, to be honest. I'm hearing more with this card is that he's just in a very dark place right now. He's in a very dark place. Maybe also because of you. I wouldn't be surprised if he was living his life without even thinking about this ex. But now you emerge. All these emotions towards you, all this possibility of, connecting and maybe committing, they're resurfacing. But that's the whole purpose of this relationship. We pull out of each other all traumas that we've forgotten about, and we swept them under a rock. Hello, they're knocking on our door now, because this lifetime of an activation to a divine journey is a lifetime of healing it all. So it's all going to come to a surface sooner or later, because we have to heal it all. It's the whole purpose of this journey, this lifetime and past lifetimes as well. All right, what are His intentions. All right, his intentions. Ace of Pentacles. The Tower. I am hearing again that he's an earth sign. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Nine of Pentacles. Well, you guys, it's confirmation of what we said before. Okay, it's confirmation of what we said before. There are things in his life right now. There's a lot of darkness, emotional darkness, physical darkness, things that are not going the way that he would want to. I don't think, again, I'm going to say this again. I don't think you know the half of it. Maybe certain things he admitted to you, but he will probably be ashamed. But you know what's it like when we meet someone, right? And I think it's a natural human thing to want to show our best, our side of light, right? And I think that it's okay for, you know, a couple of dates, but when we're really serious about dating, we have to start opening up. And it's a mistake that people make. You show someone your best self, and then that best self, it's not sustainable and it disappears. True love is falling in love with each other's lights and shadows. We love each other's imperfections. We love each other's shadows. In true divine love, we know our own shadows and we know the shadows of another person. So when we feel the avoidance is coming forth, when they feel within us the anxiety is coming forth, we both attend to these shadows. The true divine union, right? So I feel like there's a lot of things going on right now. And to be honest, in his intention, there is this element of him believing that this was destined, that this was fated, that you are more, that you are something more, but it's not for now. I think this person right now wants to focus on his abundance, his economy, his finances. I keep hearing some sort of an education. So maybe his education was stopped in the past and he wants to continue or do some additional like certificates or courses. He wants to be more independent. He wants to be more abundant, I'm hearing as well. I'm really looking at this grasshopper. Maybe it's a sign for some of you, or can you see him? Or like you're going to see a grasshopper. Let's do one more row. His intentions. There's Chariot. But that's on top of that Ace of... Oh. Okay. You guys, I'm hearing something specific, so I'm going to say it. In healthy relationship, in destined relationship, divine union, where it's soulmate or twin souls, it doesn't matter. True divine union. Of course, our partner should enhance our good qualities. So a true divine feminine will subconsciously know, naturally, not forcing it, how to make his men feel more men. And they will know how to make us feel more feminine because they're going to be protecting us, they're going to be sweet with us, they're going to be caring for us. So in a true divine union, we enhance this energy for each other. So when we get into union, we can fully drop into our feminine, into the soft, oracle, loving, in her heart. And in a true divine union, we give them strength to rise into their masculine, right? However, no woman will make a man feel like a man if he doesn't feel he's a man, right? Right now, this person, and we're not going to question whether he understands masculinity correctly because he doesn't. He has a distorted relationship with finances, definitely. But nothing you could say or do will make him feel like a man because right now he doesn't feel like a man. His focus is, there's nothing here about love, right? I don't feel it in his energy. It's like when if you guys are still in and out, if he still reaches out sometimes, or you reach out and he says yes, it's because the emotion within him, the feeling within him, the longing as well that he's suppressing, but it's this magnetic pull in these connections that he's just surrendering momentarily to it. But when it comes to his actual plans, long-term plans in his mind and his heart, there's no you. I am so sorry. He feels it may be you for this lifetime, but he doesn't believe it could be now. He doesn't see how it could be now. He wants to create forward movement for himself right now when it comes to his life, his security, his abundance. I feel there's complete lack of stability in his life right now, complete lack of balance. It's just this madness. And it happens a lot, and we take it in reality, right? Us feminists, when they say no to us because my life is a mess, we take it like, you don't love me enough, you don't feel how I feel. But in reality, yes, they're wounded. Yes, they're not divine men, that they don't feel like men, masculine, right? But something within their soul, through this rejection, they actually protecting us. Because we don't deserve, no one deserves to be pulled into someone else's mess and baggage. This is why I always say to you guys, and I always say this to my feminists outside of divine connection. If you don't close properly your past connection, your karmic past connection, you don't close the contract, you don't dissolve the cords, you don't energetically separate yourself from this person, you don't release that karmic, and you put yourself in a new relationship, you're bringing all the gunk energy and all that baggage, energetically even, you might subconscious, to that new person. It's not fair. No one deserves that, right? So maybe he's not thinking that way in his head, but his soul's within his blueprint doesn't want to pull you into this mess. There's a lot of unresolved karma. His life would feel very karmic right now. Not many good things. He feels this small in life right now, this person. He doesn't feel like he has much to offer. Financially, emotionally. I'm really saying like this, they're showing me like this crying inner child. You know this sculpture that's like two people standing like back to each other, and it's like made like out of cage, and inside of these two people, they're inner children that are trying to reach for each other. That's what I'm seeing. His inner child is very wounded. He craves love. This is why he remembers. The soul remembers. He craves for you. There's this magnetic pull of the soul. But right now, I am even hearing like emotions of like depression, you guys. Like really, again, he feels this small. He feels this small. All right, you guys, I know it wasn't probably what you wanted to hear, but I don't even know what to say. In these moments of disconnection, all I think is the best advice, if it's a true twin connection, if it's a true divine love, if this reading really resonated, my advice to you would get yourself a shadow worker. So if you resonate with me, if you resonate with another divine feminine, make sure it's a good shadow worker, it's a good healer, it's a good divine feminine who's went through this journey, and signed yourself up for a session. Because what I could tell you now, this collective, I can tell you that release this pressure, release this impatience, but it's not that easy. The more you push, the more you're pushing him away in reality. Because you both need to heal. And I know you hate to hear this, but I always say this to you guys. No true divine connection, no true twin flames will ever get into union without an actual separation. I feel you may be getting there, but I feel it's going to be quite a while. You're going to be pushing probably. You're not going to be able not to push. All right, my loves. I'm sending you so much strength. Just trust. Trust. What is yours, as long as you keep aligned, as long as you surrender to the divine, will always find your way back to you. Its way back to you. And actually, your masculine right now has more faith in that than you do. So maybe learn from him how to trust that. If it's meant to be, you will be bring back to each other one day.